You said that you had a plan, and then it kind of didn't quite work out. What was that plan? In fact, what is this about? What is the documentary about? Obviously, we know quite a lot about it, but what would you say it's about? And what did you set out to make? And then what did you end up making?
So the documentary is about two brothers, me and my young brother Alex, meeting other siblings like us around the world. Eventually, to kind of the end goal was for Alex to learn, myself to learn about each other, what it means to be brothers, what it means to have a disability, and also what it means, kind of for like the wider spectrum of where Alex will be in 10 years' time, where I will be, everything like that. And so that was the documentary that we wanted to make. And I think the reason that we did it was because when I was doing Meisner, everything was about Alex. Every time I fought for anything, it was always about Alex. And I thought, well, there's actually something big here. And it stemmed from there's no documentary in my eyes that's like it. It's all, you do see often things about parents, but the siblings, there's nothing out there. So that was why I wanted to do it. But what it turned into was kind of like a very investigative journalism type, especially towards the end, we got to Vietnam, because there was a huge amount of focus on some really tough and horrible issues that were going on in Vietnam and in terms of disabilities, and brain surgery, and talking to people about how Alex could be cured and things like that. And I thought, this is a different matter completely, but we have to tell the story because that's what's in front of us. So it turned into that, really. But also I met my now wife after India, so that changed the trajectory of it, because it was like I've suddenly met this person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, and I've given up a part of my life to do this and to be with Alex. And not that I wanted to be selfish, but I just felt like I needed to fulfill my own wishes, my own dreams, my own hopes. And what did that mean for my brother? So that changed it, because I didn't know I was going to meet her, but there you go.
Well, congratulations.
But in terms of how we kind of got there, it was literally, I almost feel like it's not me at times, if that makes sense. And I think there were probably times during the course where it's like, this isn't me. This is crazy, because you're not thinking about it. You're just doing it because there's nothing else that bothers you, because this is so strong on your heart that nothing else is going to stop you. Any insecurity, nothing. It just goes away because you believe so strongly in the project.
I feel that way when I teach, which sounds, I have a very, very, very good grasp of where the person in front of me, every student where I need to take them next. It's intuitive, though, in the sense that, there are things that I have to, in the moment, be mindful of and apply, and I'm obviously present for that. But most of the time it just kind of happens instinctively. Like, you make the decision, you say, okay, what this person looks like they need next is this. I'm just going to do it. And then you do it, and then you're almost not present. And then when I then see the result, I'm always a little bit surprised, wow, it happened.
Yeah. Wherever we went or whoever we spoke to, things just happened, and you have to trust the process and trust as you said, your instincts, and your instincts to go, well, this is the story right now, and you just have to live it and be completely in it, and nothing else bothers you. It's just completely right here, right now, 100%. But in terms of how we kind of laid it all out, only small bits were planned, like the siblings we were going to meet, where we were going to go, the destinations. But other than that, it was like every day is completely new. Ed had the camera, let's just go. And there's a huge amount of trust, and I think that's the biggest thing, is just trusting whatever will happen. And I really feel this so strongly that I just think that there's no way that I could have done it without your help and without yeah, absolutely, and without the course. And I think because
that is just amazing to hear me.
And I suppose I felt that actually it's not about the acting. I think, and that's what I loved about Meisner, is that it wasn't about, obviously there are scripts and you need to know your scripts, but it was more about the relationships and people and the honesty and the openness. And that is the biggest thing that I took away, was just being completely 100% open. And you're right, just having, if you have an idea and believing in yourself, you will get there, because nothing will stop you doing it. And you taught me that, so thank you. I'm really proud of it. So whatever happens now, I always feel like I can just let go, because it's not me, it's not part of me. And I think that's very important, to be like, that was 2 years of my life. Let go, because people will watch it and critique it and whatever, and you just have to let go and not get your ego, don't let your ego get away with you. So just put it to bed.
I think the thing about story, and story, not just fiction, I mean also documentary, is that if you are almost creating something that exists out there already, in terms of a concept. And then once you've created it, it becomes, let's say, public, so long as it is public, so long as it is accessible. And then people can get to experience this thing, which almost exists outside of you. I think that's a very strange moment for an artist, is when they've created something and then it has a life outside of them. I was certainly surprised the first time it happened to me. I was like, oh, I'm tapping into something that people like or don't like, and it kind of doesn't have anything to do with me, and it kind of felt really good, to be honest. It felt, oh, this is in fact the reason why you're doing it in the first place. But the doing of it feels so personal, because it's you doing it, and as you said, you're in it, it's you're actively making it happen. But then once it's created, it stands alone, away from you, and then it has its own life. Where to next?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually think, because of the process, because of what happened, I want to do more. I loved it. I loved meeting people. I loved the stories. I think there's something very special in kind of meeting new people and just being completely raw and honest and upfront to people on camera. And I think I really enjoyed it, and I love doing it, and I think I want to do more of that, and I want to be able to meet different people and make more documentaries. I think maybe that's my calling, my passion, because I really felt like it was just really beautiful. And I think there's so many more stories to tell. It's not just about Down syndrome, but I feel like it's just incredible. I think it's amazing. So obviously acting, I enjoy acting so much, but it's kind of like that, trying to make an analogy of it, but like a spectrum, and you're somewhere along the spectrum, whatever kind of art you want to create. So, but at the same time, you just have to be kind of open to whatever will happen, and whatever happens as a result, then I'm open to, basically.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we're still talking about the same thing, right? We're still making the same thing. I mean, I trained as an actress, obviously, as you know, originally. That's how I met Meisner. Not literally the man, but the technique. And I ended up wanting to coach. I ended up wanting to pass on what I had discovered to develop it. I thought it was absolute magic, and I wanted to kind of take it away and do something slightly different with it. And importantly, I wanted to write. It's something that came out of that, and I wanted to direct. So Meisner, it seems, can open you up. I think this is the truth, the truth seeking aspect, the exploration of the self. It presents you with the opportunity to explore, I think, more than anything else I have ever encountered, that is so hell bent on bringing you face to face with yourself, right? It does it very powerfully because it does it. It does it directly to you, right? It kind of has a physiological impact on you. You can't easily run away from it because it's not intellectual. You experience it, and once you experience your truth, it's very difficult to put it aside. As you say, you had to kind of go and run after it. Then the work is easy. It's very direct. From a neurological point of view, from a physiological point of view, your body has to do a lot more work covering the truth, right? Rather than letting it out, so to speak. So it makes more sense. It's effortless. I think once you kind of catch on to that effortlessness, then there is no reason to ever get off that ride.
Whether it's making a documentary, doing a big film, or it doesn't matter, because, or meeting anyone in life, it's it's not, the thing is, I think it can become misconstrued as manipulative, which it's not, because you are giving as much as they are. So
but unfortunately you identified some problems as regards treatment of disability. Okay. Is this something
that was hard? Because you and there's a particular scene where we do meet one of these soothsayers, I think they're called. You sort of, and they said, for $100 we'll cure Alex. And you kind of have to, you go, right, there's an audience here that's watching. You have to let go of your own ego, your own emotion in that moment, and be like, you just need to just talk to me about whatever you're talking about, and without kind of judging it, and to be like, but it's difficult. But I'm glad we got it, and I'm glad we got him talking about it, because that was a huge moment, I think, for the documentary. There is a part of me that thinks, was that the right thing to do? To be able to
Alex, you mean?
Yeah, to Alex, and to go and see these people. It's horrible, but I think it was important for the documentary to show it.
Going back to Meisner for a second, it's something which I have always critiqued when I have seen people grossly misunderstand what it means to be confronted with something and choose, let's say, for that, to not judge it, or not to identify with what it is that you feel. There's a great misconception that means that you overcome it, as in repress it, whereas this is not what we're talking about. You and I understand each other. But that's something that unfortunately happens very often. People overcome those emotions through repression, and that's not healthy. It will pop up in a much more insidious way. So to truly deal with it, to truly to truly be confronted with it, and to step back, requires that you become bigger in that moment, to incept that, to kind of to be able to hold it without it defining you, identifying you, and without you identifying with it. But it's also a very beautiful philosophy to live one's life with, by. And speaking with you, I can really see it, and it moves me. I think it's beautiful. It compels you to become bigger than it. But not from a righteous point of view, but rather from a I can hold this point of view. I have to hold this point of view. and I think that, you know, in that moment, you show the audience how they too are able to do it. So tell us about the successes you've had so far. So you're currently screening in Glasgow at the Glasgow International Film Festival.
Glasgow Film Festival, yeah. Oh, end of February. So unfortunately, we would have had a big screening, and we would have been there, and we would have done a Q&A, and which is a shame that we're not going to do that. But it is what it is, and everyone is in the same boat. So, but we will have, I think, on the 28th of Feb. There's 3 days where we'll be screening, so people can log on and watch it and stuff, and then after that, it's kind of making a kind of sale to hopefully a big UK broadcaster. That's the big thing for us. I think we believe strongly that someone like Channel 4 or BBC could pick it up, and then potentially we might be able to go kind of international, get it sold in America or something like that. So that's our plan, and that's the hope for it. I think for it to be seen by as many people as possible is obviously the number one priority.
Well, we're going to share that date again with our audience, with our own audience, and share bits of this interview with you, because I think it's important for people to see what, you know, one of their own, I guess, that's a simple way to put it, one of their own was able to do, and to, you know, create a story that's been really touching and beautiful.
Whatever project you do, whatever's on your heart, whatever you're passionate about, you have to realize how, or what got you there, or who you met, or whatever your life experiences. So, and I think the experience that I've had doing Meisner changed my whole point of view from then till now. Everything has changed. But you know, my marriage, life, how I view life.
This is amazing, Nick. I absolutely love this. It's, you know, I talk about the conversion, but we are talking about something, you know, not mystical. Well, rather it is mystical, but its mystique comes from a conversion to truth, a decision to follow your truth, to follow not pretense, not fear, but what is staring at, you know, right in front of you. And that is exactly the magic that I fell in love with. And thank you for sharing and giving back to me today, and to the students, and to, you know, the studio. Yeah, it really means a lot. This is what it's about. I'm so excited for you, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
In this moment.
Thank you.